Well, this is what it looks like in the middle of the biggest emergency fire zone in New South Wales tonight. 13,000 hectares destroyed in just this area alone. And this is what we see repeated over and over in this small community of Rainbow Flat. Home after home destroyed or damaged. The locals have left. We're the only ones here. Many of those people who've left don't know whether their homes still stand. As you've heard, we can confirm tonight that 3 people have been killed, 5 are still missing. And we can tell you that at least one of those people has been identified tonight. Her name is Vivian Chaplin, a 69-year-old grandmother who was killed while trying to defend her home at Waitalaba, northwest of Coffs Harbour. So for at least 3 families tonight, this is a day with extraordinary and tragic consequences.
Relentless and ruthless, a night of terror for communities engulfed by a monstrous blaze on the outskirts of Glen Innes.
I can't believe this. How the did this happen?
We're out, we're past it.
Shocked residents at Nimboida have been struggling to come to grips with what they've described as a firestorm.
I'm still gathering thoughts, trying to remember what it was that I actually did see, whether or not I could believe what I saw.
I sprayed this with fire retardant and hosed and hosed and hosed, drained my dams, and I just hung here for the majority of the whole night.
Some houses were saved.
I've come back and my house is still there. It's rammed earth and it's still there. I can't believe it. My sheds are all gone and my house is still there.
But at nearby Waitalaba, not everyone escaped. A man perished in his car and a woman died hours later after she was badly burned.
Despite the very best efforts of all involved, we are advised this morning that lady has passed away in hospital.
The small bridge into the bushland community says it all. Police crews on motorbikes spent the day with the grim task of searching for the possibility of more victims. At the public school, some buildings were spared.
I'm about to go down and have a look at what's left in my house. My neighbours are in hospital.
Nearby homes left in a pile of ashes. Many in this region are returning to nothing.
I don't think it's salvageable. I think we're starting in. I think we're digging it out and starting from ground up again.
Up to 100 homes or sheds across the northern tablelands have been wiped out. Waitalaba is surrounded by thick national park. The road out of here was engulfed by the wall of flames before it reached the homes, giving residents little chance of escape.
We've got a list of a number of people. We're just making inquiries with them to account for their whereabouts. We're not saying that they've been injured in any form, but as in any event like this, in any community like this, we've got to go through methodically just to make sure that everyone's okay.
The fire here, as with many parts of New South Wales, is still burning out of control.
Please heed the warnings. If you're concerned, please make sure you contact the relevant authorities to get the advice and information you need. The situation is beyond serious.
Those who have been so directly and horribly impacted by these fires, those who have lost loved ones and those who will learn they have lost loved ones in the not too distant future, those who have lost homes, those who are sitting in the smouldered ruins of properties that once stood. They are the ones that Australians will be thinking of today.
A day that will go down as one of the worst in the state's history.
It was absolutely everywhere, but you can't see the flames because there's so much smoke, so you don't really know what's going on.
Doug and Jack Wood tried desperately to save their family home in the state's north, but the blaze at Coraki was unstoppable.
The wind just changed like that and came straight over us. We tried putting it out for a while, but we were just wasting our time, really. I rang 000 again to try and get a truck down here, but they said if they could, but they couldn't.
The father and son are among many families in the area who've lost it all.
Everything just went so quick. Within like 5 minutes, the whole place was just up.
It just was so intense. It was just unbelievable. I just can't explain how bad it was.
Homes have also been destroyed at Willawarren near Kempsey, but exactly how many have been lost is not yet known.
Thousands of acres, it just went up like a bomb. I've never seen
And if that's what hell looks like, I think.
From the air, you get a better sense of the mammoth task confronting firefighters. At Dunbogan, south of Port Macquarie, locals have been on high alert as another inferno burns nearby.
When we got that notice that it could get worse, it was very frightening, very, very frightening.
We've actually sold our home. So we're not sure it's going to be still there for people.
Here on the outskirts of Port Macquarie, a fast-moving grass fire flared up this afternoon, illustrating the constant threat for firefighters in these strong winds. Northwest of Port Macquarie at Balangaree, fires destroyed up to half a dozen homes, but that didn't stop one couple from tying the knot.
My auntie had to pick my cake up. She couldn't go in. The cake lady couldn't come out, but they managed to get it here, so it was all good.
Signs of hope in the middle of danger and destruction.
A livelihood up in smoke. In the middle of a drought, animal feed is almost priceless. It makes this, burning bales of fodder, so hard.
You couldn't describe how quick it was. They talk about firestorms. I think there had to be one of them.
For many, there wasn't time to flee the firestorm, which hit the small town of Bobin near Taree yesterday evening. Water bombing could only do so much.
The helicopter just gave up and he started blasting his siren. Every house he went over and blasted his siren. In other words, just get out. Pretty fair advice, I think.
Across the road at Diane Colin Holmes' place, a close call doesn't even describe it. They stood up to the blaze with buckets and hoses and won.
Oh, it was terrible. And the noise.
It's like a train coming, is what it sounds like.
It was so noisy.
But they're the lucky ones. The first bell won't ring at the tiny local school on Monday morning. Some have lost everything.
What now stands out in this town is just how indiscriminate this fire was. Houses like this one have been levelled, while just down the road, they've been spared.
While the fire front still burns in the distance, the clean-up has begun. But what's just happened is still so raw.
And it just grew and it just went around the hall. And when it came down there, then it went across to the school. And then when I came down on the car, all this was alight. And Kim's house is gone.
Bobin's residents are dealing with their loss by rallying together, something that will need to happen in countless towns across New South Wales in the weeks to come.
We're about 400 metres still to go.
At Rainbow Flat, volunteer firefighters put their lives on the line. In the dark and surrounded by fire, they kept going.
There's the house to the left.
This is just some of the destruction of the Hillville fire. The blaze jumped the Pacific Highway near Taree and left crews dealing with an enormous fire front. From the air and on the ground, firefighters and families are battling to save homes.
It's pretty crazy right now, but hasn't skipped over here yet, but has over there.
In Old Bar, those unable to evacuate in time were told to shelter in their homes.
Guys can come up in the blink of an eye. I'm looking at that tree right now that's sparking. I wouldn't be surprised if that goes up next.
For residents across the Hillville area and in the towns of Wallaby Point, Rainbow Flat and Old Bar, there's no respite.
We're all going to stay here. There's nowhere else where we can go.
Frightens me. I get stressed, but Brian stays calm. He's the calm one.
Gary Ray has lived here for 45 years. He's next door to a national park.
No, I'm not concerned at all. At all.
You seem to be the only person on the mid-north coast that's not concerned.
Well,
not concerned.
I'm the only one with blue sky above me.
With sudden wind changes came mountainous black plumes of smoke and falling ash.
Can you breathe?
A little bit.
This fire is moving rapidly. It's already spread through more than 12,000 hectares of land, tearing through National Park and taking dozens of homes with it. The devastation from these fires is only starting to be realised.